Good morning, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie Band. Today is Wednesday, June the 22nd, and this is the midweek Moneyball morning report. Wow, that's a lot of M's for the Benzinga Pro platform. We're taking a look at SPY here on the, the summer solstice? I think that's it, where the days are equally split into day and night, which is fantastic. And then the days start getting shorter, sadly, but whatever. Taking a look at SPY, we are continuing to drift down, right? I'm looking at a weekly. Overall motion is still very upward. But as I mentioned, when you have a gigantic swing from negative chatter, negative, and then all of a sudden you see everybody go, good grief, I've been wrong for so long. Let's go positive. You can see that in the sentiment report. It absolutely switched over to one-year highs, and that is usually the time that says time to pump the brakes. Okay, and so that's what we're seeing. Yesterday a little bit, and today a little bit for the majority of the indices. We've got ourselves a little bit of drag. So what are we looking at? Well, we're still caught between 435 and 438, so we're pretty sideways. Today, Fed Chair Powell is going to be testifying at the House committee, some panel on X, Y, or Z, not really sure which one. And so what he might say is going to be fairly important. Also tomorrow he appears at the Senate doing the same sorts of things, and that really could give us a little bit of a juggle. You could look at this and go, oh, I see a head and shoulders pattern. Don't even do that. Look very simply at your charts and always ask the same question, and that question is, am I heading higher? And am I heading lower? And in reference to what it is that price action is showing, how does that look for my last three candlesticks? Right? The current candlestick and the two prior. If you've been listening to me for a long time, I say this every time. A broken record, right? And so when you see it start moving, what do we have? Higher low. We had the series of higher lows, higher highs, moving up to here. We couldn't break out of the resistance on the hourly. Now we're heading downward. Where are we likely to go? Well, we stalled right here at the 436 area, somewhere around this wick. But my suspicion is that, we're going to drag and test these lower edges. We need to take a break, folks. These are weekly formations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th week moving higher and having these higher lows, right? We do need to take a little bit of a breath. That's just the way the market works. We don't go straight up, and so we should do a little bit of retesting. All right, so what does the retesting look like? Well, first, we got to get to 435. Buyers are going to come in there, right? So since we are seeing a little bit of price action that's fairly noisy on this price path, let's go to the 4-hour and see if we can tell what's going on. Yeah, it's very noisy. We've got the rotation over in the ribbon. I love this trend spider ribbon. It's just fantastic. And what we can see from that space is that this is an area where buyers will come to try to defend price. And so if they come into 435, anticipate a bounce, don't short it, okay? If it comes over here and you see it moving upward and you say, oh my goodness, it's going to leave the train station without me, do not fret. Any kind of rotation like this that has any kind of bounce to the north will retrace. Just go to the past and have a look, okay? If you're looking at this and you're like, oh my goodness, this is really rotating, I got to pick it up here, just look for the last areas of congestion. Below that, we've got 433 and then 431, all right? When do the buyers kick in? If we get up over 438, we see sellers, and those sellers can't get us below 437, we're off to the races. Okay, same thing with the Qs. We're looking at upside pressure for the majority. Look at this weekly chart. It's just insane, right? I mean, what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks of upward flow straight up. I mean, that's huge. Is it normal? No. This is people chasing price. This just is not normal. Is it trending? Absolutely. So in trending formations, what do you anticipate? First pass bounces into support. You get into buyers. They try to come in and defend the area. We have that clean zone at 364. Now we're watching the price bounce into a lower high. That tells us that there's still a lot of sellers up here, right? Still a lot of supply where people say, hey, listen, I'm just going to get rid of some of this. And then price action comes in and it begins to fade. Holds off of these lower levels. 362 is the one after that. When do the buyers take over? Well, they're going to take over on that breach of around 367, right? Where are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to try and push up on the edge. Any of the pullbacks, you've got to look for where the buyers begin to engage, and then you go, yep, it should be there. My suspicion is that if we break out of this edge and pull back, as long as we hold this 366 region, price action should move to the north. The last one I want to take a look at for us is IWM. IWM, we know what this chart is trying to do, right? It's really trying to break through this heavy congestion. It's having a devil of a time for all practical purposes. Lower high bounce. Listen, there's not a ton of strength in here, okay? There simply is not. And so the bounces are going to give us sell zones, and that is going to be what we are looking at, right? The support ledge, is it around that 184, 183? Yes, it certainly is. If we break that zone, stand to the side, watch for the buyers because we still have a pervasive bid, and then let them get back up above that 184.50, and then you're off to the races. All right, let's take a look at the ES. Of course, the futures are the love of my work heart. And what are we doing? Wow, fill the gap. Kind of big. We did it yesterday in sort of this savage dip and then rotation off that low. You know the levels. You've got them. I mapped them out for us. We'll be in good shape from that perspective, right? Could we get to somewhere between 43.94 and 43.85? Yeah, good. I think that's perfectly reasonable. Who's going to show up here first? Buyers. Buyers are going to show up here first. Why? Because they showed up here the last time. And so that's what we're going to look for, right? You don't want to look here and go, ooh, we're going to have ourselves a nice fade. I'm going to short here. No, no. Every time we've come into this patch, we've had buying pressure. Now it has pushed us lower. So we're going to have a battle, but this is not the place that you go, hey, I'm going to go short and just stay short. All right? You're going to have to watch that. Anticipate buying pressure pushes us north, and then we'll see how much supply sits at the 44.32 area. All right? When do the buyers take all the way over? You know, I don't know that they're going to really be in charge until they break 44.50 again. Okay? Right now, we just accelerated move to the upside. That's just not natural, right? There's some things that you see in the market and you know that they're natural after a time. These are unstable motions, right? What does JJ say? Well, that's VWAP Trader 1. He says, listen, at any time the market could come apart like a cheap suit, right? And so that made me think of stitching coming out when somebody was just walking. So sorry. Let's take a look at the NQ. Also, past few days, high, fading, fills the gap. Look what happens immediately on that gap fill. Buyers come in, big wick down, breaks the line of support. That's where they stop out everybody trying to buy this dip with a very tight stop on a, maybe they're scalping. They stopped them out and then turned right around and moved up. What are we doing? We're coming to test that again. Who's going to show up? Buyers. Buyers are going to show up. And if they push it north, we sit in this sideways patch that's about 100 points wide. If the buyers don't show up, we go to the next ledge, and then we look for buyers there. All right? Indeed, it is true that the chart should come in and retrace some of this motion. It absolutely should, right? It's only natural that charts fade a little bit. This motion has been very exaggerated. So that's what we're going to watch for. All right, next on the list and last, you know what? Let's take a look at oil this morning. Still sitting sideways. I don't really have anything to say there. My levels for oil are the same. But those pieces look definitely landlocked. You know that the dips are getting bought. That's really all I can say for that. Gold, yeah, this one. I gotta tell you, this fade here could very easily come all the way back down here, 1675. That's horrific, I understand, for the gold bugs. But right now, what are they going to do? They're going to try and buy it right here. See the slope down. They're not going to have any success at holding, but it is a nice place that a potential bounce could be forming in gold today at 1935. You know what? I keep my stops super tight there. Maybe 10 ticks. And after that, let it go and let it recover. See if it can move to the north. All right, everyone, that's it for me. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow.